Call to order. The time is now 6 o'clock. This is the April 13th regular meeting for the Oak Park Board of Education. Ms. Greer, can you please call the roll?
Corcoran. Madison.
Here.
Perryman Tanks.
Here.
Rogers.
Here.
Scott.
Here.
And Tyler.
Here.
Okay. Number 2, approval of the agenda. I would like to amend the agenda and just switch item number 7 and 8. So the closed session will be directly after public participation and then action items following. All right. The school calling me. That's funny. Okay, item number 3, approval of consent agenda. We will do that unanimously if there are no objections to doing so. Are there any objections? Okay, we will move on to item number 4, presentations, student of the month. Mrs. Murphy, when you get a chance.
Good evening to our families, to our Board of Education, our president, and all of our trustees. Thank you for joining us tonight. And we will first start with Lessinger, our youngest ones, to celebrate all of our young scholars, preschool through 12th grade, who have exceeded school expectations and done amazing things at all of our schoolhouses. So first up, we'll have Mrs. Graham for Lessinger Elementary, Early Childhood Center.
Yes.
Good evening
Good
to
evening.
our cabinet and our interim superintendent, Ms. Murphy. I am coming on behalf of my esteemed principal, Ms. Simone Berry, in her absence, to provide the Student of the Month for Lessinger Early Childhood Center at 12901 Albany in Oak Park, as well as we are enrolling, so get them in there right now. Thank you. So the first student would be Carter Brooks in Miss Baylor class, Miss Baylor and Miss Mamo's class. With that being said, I want to first make sure they are here. Let's see here. Okay, I don't see them yet, but I still want to make sure she gets her accolades because she is a well-deserving student of Lessinger. And Carter was nominated because of her ability to adapt at all costs. She is a bright student with a wonderful support system. She comes in bubbly and happy every day. She is willing to learn and assist, and also she follows directions and is just a pleasure to have in the classroom. So I want to make sure that she is honored today. If we could give Carter a round of applause. Okay, and next we have David, who is in Miss Whitfield's class. Yeah. And you see David comes with his whole entourage. Where's TMZ? Okay, here's David and Miss Whitfield.
Good evening. I just like to give the personalization to my students because everybody who came to support David Otis, I just want you to raise your hand. Let me tell you, when you have an awesome student, they're usually connected to an awesome family. And I don't mean any disrespect, but this family has capitalized on the homeschool partnership. It is definitely a partnership. David has been a joy in my class, coming in very high socially, emotionally, and we had to build his academic skills. So David came in with about 8 uppercase letters. David now knows about 24 upper, 24 lower, and he has mastered his sounds. Please, I'm about to cry because it's so exciting. It is a testament to how effective preschool is, and it is necessary. And so not only do I give this young man accolades, but I thank God for his family that when we give him assignments and when we talk about things in school, they bridge the gap and they work on it with him at home. And I am so excited about his future.
So after every student of the month, we're going to ask the family to step up to take a photo.
Come on, family.
Waist up, waist up. JJ, I want your student.
Okay, they look just alike.
Listen, I got backup. All right, say lesson adjourned. Lesson adjourned. Woo! You got the whole boardroom.
Next up, we will have the leader of the Dr. James N. Pepper Elementary School, none other than Principal Emmanuel Haley. Let's clap it up for Pepper Elementary.
So we'll just do it like this. When you know, you know. Right. So it brings me great pleasure and honor to introduce one of the outstanding teachers at the Dr. James N. Pepper Elementary School, who is going to present the Pepper Students of the Month. I present to you now Ms. Sherry Folter.
Good evening. When Mr. Haley asked me if I had 2 students to nominate for Student of the Month, I think I sent him a message within 5 minutes. I knew immediately who to recognize this evening. I don't think I see Miss Melina, but I'd like to introduce to you Miss Melina Massenberg. When the school year began, Melina was very quiet, polite, and very observant. School was not easy for her, but she never gave up. As an educator, you wait for that moment when it clicks, when your students really show they get it. Melina had her click moment the week she signed up to be teacher ambassador for the week. The quiet girl that I knew, she was responsible for leading our community meeting and many other responsibilities. She confidently took control of the meeting and never looked back. From that moment, Melina has not only grown tremendously as a confident young lady, she has also shown significant growth academically. She leads by her kindness towards others, helps her classmates at any time, and she is always ready for a challenge. Congratulations, Melina. You've earned every part of this award. I would also like to introduce to you Mr. Noah Thompson. When the school year began, Noah was quiet, polite, and was very hardworking. This has not changed. He mostly chose to work independently and made sure that he was completing his work to the best of his ability. Over the past several months, Noah has not only worked to meet grade level expectations, but most recently he has begun to exceed those expectations and is beginning to work above grade level in both reading and math.
Let's go, Noah.
He has matured into an amazing young man that displays confidence. He offers to help his classmates, and he is a natural teacher as I listen to him explain how to solve a problem. You can hear his voice in his writing and see how proud he is of the work he has put in. Noah, you are an amazing young man, and I cannot wait to see what you accomplish over the next several years. Congratulations. Come on, Noah.
Noah's family, come on up, Noah's family.
Come
I am proud to present to you Mr. Adam Carter, the assistant principal of the Francis Scott Key Elementary School.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
So my name is Adam Carter, assistant principal at Key, and I wanted to take a moment and introduce one of our third grade students who didn't get a chance to make it today, but she is in Miss Brown's class, and her name is Adriana King. She's right here. Oh, come on up, Adriana. All right, so Adriana, and again, this is a note from her teacher. Adriana consistently demonstrates what it means to be a responsible, respectful, and hardworking member of our classroom community. She comes to school each day ready to learn, always putting forth her best effort in everything she does. Whether she is working independently or with her classmates, Adriana shows kindness, patience, and a positive attitude. What truly makes Adriana stand out is her determination. Even when something is challenging, she does not give up. Instead, she keeps trying, asks thoughtful questions, and celebrates her growth along the way. She is also a wonderful role model for her peers, often encouraging others and leading by example. Adriana's dedication to her learning and her caring spirit make her truly deserving of this recognition. We are so proud of her accomplishments and excited to see all the great things she will continue to achieve. Congratulations, Adriana King, on being our Student of the Month.
Great job. Oh, they love Miss Murphy. Oh, that's my boy. This will be a class with my son. Hey.
All right, up next we have our second grade teacher, Mrs. Sumler, presenting her student.
So I'm so sad my student, I don't see her here. Harmony Lassiter, I recommended for my class. I'm going to read what I wrote, but I did have a quick thing I wanted to say. Harmony is a fantastic student. She's come so far this year. She's eager to participate in class. She's excited to learn new concepts, and she retains all that I teach her. When we started in my class, she was not reading at all. But she worked hard in small groups, and we have a program called Read Naturally, which is my favorite, but everybody knows that, and is now reading almost at grade level, just right below. And she's not only done really well with her reading, but we have something called iReady Champions at our school. So every month, if they're passing 8 lessons and 120 minutes, then they get a certificate. She's been the iReady Champion in our class every single month. She's the only one in my class to do so. Just fantastic. She's so helpful. We talk about common good in our class, and she's always picking up trash or helping to clean up, even if it's not her mess. She's always great at making sure everybody is happy, gives hugs, and is just the friendliest student. She had some challenges at home this year and missed the entire month of February. There was no transportation, and somehow she has managed to not miss a beat. Her mom was going to have to send her to a new school, and I begged her. I said, please don't do that to her. She's doing so well. And Mom said, I couldn't. She cried every day saying she wanted to see you. Mm-hmm. When she came in, she did not let go of me for literally 5 minutes. And I'm going to get emotional talking about it, but she is my heart, and I wish she was here to get this, but I want to at least give her the recognition.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Sumler. Mrs. Sumler is truly an incredible teacher. I've learned such a great deal from her from my time at Key, and she is definitely a treasure of Oak Park. Up next, we will have Einstein Elementary, our last elementary school. Up next is Einstein Elementary.
All right. Good evening. My name is Sarah Provenzolo. I'm the principal at Einstein Elementary School, and I'm very happy to call up to be recognized Miss Kinsley Otis. And this was like a complete coincidence because is David her?
Yeah.
Oh, David's her brother, so he was
Wow.
recognized earlier. Now Kinsley's here. All right. So Kinsley was nominated by her first grade teacher, Miss Smoot. Kinsley consistently shows kindness, responsibility, and a positive attitude in the classroom. If she doesn't understand something right away, she keeps practicing until she improves and never gives up. Kinsley also shows great responsibility by staying focused, completing her work, and doing what is expected of her. She is kind to others. She sets a great example for her classmates. I'm so proud of Kinsley's growth, effort, and the way she continues to shine at Einstein. Wait, no, we're gonna go get a So the
I do it at an angle, wait a minute. Right. 1, 2, 3. There we go.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's make sure you. Like more than just that one.
All right. Next up, I'm not sure that I see her. Is Aubrey? Oh, there she is. Okay. Yay! Next up is Miss Aubrey Parker. She's a third grader. Turn her face, everybody. Her third grade teacher, Miss Jackson, nominated her. She said, today we celebrate, she likes to call her students Dr. Aubrey Parker, a student who perfectly defines what it means to have valor. From her excellent academic focus to the kindness she shows her peers, Aubrey is a natural leader and a positive force in our classroom. She consistently goes above and beyond, providing that never give up attitude and can take you anywhere. Aubrey, we are so proud of your hard work and your cheerful energy you share with our school. Please join us all in congratulating Aubrey as
Sorry, catch up. Oh.
Yes, I'm just so happy for my baby.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Ready? Okay. 1. Ready? Look this way, ready? Look.
Say cheese.
Congratulations.
Take care, Mom.
All right.
Next up, we will have the proud principal of Oak Park Preparatory Academy, the Principal Douglas Island.
All right.
Yeah.
Look at you come all the way.
Keep it together best I can. All right, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Doug Island. I am the proud principal of Oak Park Prep. And today I have the honor of introducing and congratulating two of our wonderful scholars, 7th grade scholars. Our first student, Mr. Daryl Ruffin III. Come on up, my man. So Daryl's teachers had this to say about him. Daryl Ruffin III has earned recognition as April Student of the Month for his outstanding dedication and work ethic. He consistently completes all assignments on time and demonstrates exceptional thoroughness in everything he does. Daryl puts forth tremendous effort in his learning and is always willing to take on additional work once he is finished with his assigned task, never with complaints, but with a positive attitude. A true team player, Daryl contributes quietly yet meaningfully to the classroom environment. He has a calm, respectful, and well-mannered personality that reflects his strong character. Despite his quiet nature, he is always prepared to learn, actively engages in daily lessons, and supports his peers when needed. Daryl approaches new learning opportunities with enthusiasm and a genuine desire to grow. His commitment, responsibility, and positive mindset make him a well-deserved recipient of this honor. Congratulations, Daryl. Take that. We got a little something. Come on, mama. Speak for me. Sign action.
Oh, we got the sign? You front and center with the flag and ready. Okay.
We got a little something for you too. Okay. Yeah, come on with it.
Oprah showing out.
Okay. Showing out.
Okay, challenge.
We got a little shirt, swag. We got some pencils and pens. We got a little wristband action. All right. And I'm gonna hold the swag back here.
Scoot over just a little bit, y'all. Thank you. Perfect. Thank you.
Congratulations.
It's hot up here. It's hot up here, brother Sway. I don't see our next person, but I want to make sure that we recognize her and acknowledge her. All right. Our next person is Miss Courtney Ross. So if y'all can give it up for her. I know. I just talked to Dad too, so I don't know. Courtney Ross has been selected as April Student of the Month by her science teacher, Miss McCavick, who has seen a significant growth in Courtney's dedication to her education. While Courtney may occasionally require a bit of redirection, she demonstrates great potential and determination when she is focused. When engaged, Courtney is a strong team player who supports and motivates her classmates to stay on task and give their best, and she gives her best effort. Her energetic personality brings a positive and uplifting spirit to the classroom, often helping to create an encouraging learning environment for others. Courtney truly strives to improve and works to channel her energy into her classwork and academic efforts. Her progress, positive attitude, and growing commitment to learning make her a deserving recipient of this recognition. All right, so one more time. All right, we'll make sure we get Courtney her stuff. And next up is Mr. Derek Falk representing the high school of Oak Park High. Thank you.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Derek Falk, as you know. I am the Executive Director of School Safety and Security for the Oak Park School District. I am in place of the fabulous administration at Oak Park High School. They could not make it today. I do have a wonderful, wonderful educator. And I'm going to she is going, this is Ms. Guzman, our wonderful Spanish teacher. She is going to do the presentations, but I must say this name for her because it is such a wonderful student. And I'm just going to bring her up. Aminata Sila. So Aminata and Ms. Guzman are going to come.
Okay, Aminata was nominated by Mrs. Patterson. According to Mrs. Patterson, Aminata is a wonderful student. She's a leader and a fearless defender of the soccer team. Aminata attends CASA and is an honor roll student. She's responsible, kind, and sweet. She works very hard and is one of the most dependable students I have had on and off the field. She is the definition of a true student athlete. Aminata has consistently demonstrated excellence across all areas, including academic performance, character, behavior, effort, social responsibility, and attendance. Aminata received Student of the Month when she was in the 8th grade at OPA. She is a hard worker, empathetic towards others, dependable, helpful, and she loves to learn. She attributes these qualities to her family. Everyone in her family works hard, especially her dad, who is the provider for her family. In Aminata's spare time, she plays soccer, enjoys drawing, painting, and reading. Her favorite genres are biographies and memoirs. She loves helping and caring for others, aspires to be a doctor, and currently works at a hospital serving food to patients. It is with great pride that the Oak Park High School administration recognizes and honors our junior knight, Aminata Sila, as the Scholar of the Month for April.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Oh.
Come on, yeah, you want to put all the way in front of you? Yes, please. One, two, gotcha.
Okay, I have one more. This is Brandon Morgan. Brandon was nominated by his teacher, Mrs. Freeland. According to Mrs. Freeland, Brandon shows effort and he is a very respectful young man. He has good grades, he's positive and kind to his peers and teachers. Brandon gets his motivation to do well in school from his grandmother. He describes her as a shining beacon of hope. She remains strong for him and everyone she loves. Brandon has encountered some hurdles in high school, but he feels he's doing pretty good for his first year in high school. He loves videograms, reading manga, which is Japanese comics, and taking long walks to enjoy a nice scenery on occasion. It is with great pride that the Oak Park School Administration recognizes and honors our 9th grade knight, Brandon Morgan, as the Scholar of the Month for April.
Brandon's family, would you like to come up as well? Please. Grandparents, beautiful.
I know that's right. Congratulations.
Put that in the family photo album, okay?
Good job, Brandon.
All right. Well, I get to introduce two of my former staff members, as Mr. Evans is not here, but I have no problem standing in for my former school. So I am going to bring up two of my favorite teachers. Come on up, Mrs. Sheik and Mrs. Brinson, as they will present their awards to their students. Thank you.
Good evening, Ms. Murphy, and good evening, board. Tonight, oh, Amir, come on. Come on. Okay. Tonight, I have the honor of recognizing Amir. He is a new student to us this year at Nova. Every student comes with a story, but Amir has one of perseverance, resilience, and overcoming difficult trials and tribulations to get to this point. I won't go into much detail other than to say that a week into school, he had not shown up. And after hours and hours of talking to his family, his sister and I connected. We were able to get him online. When Amir first arrived, he did not want to attend school. It took numerous conversations and encouragement and reassurance from both his sister and me to help him believe that he could succeed at Nova. There were many texts and many moments of reminding him not to give up and to trust the process. Needless to say, a half-year later, Amir is now on his own path and no longer needs reassurance from me. He has grown tremendously, earned my trust through his hard work, and he is now overachieving at Nova. We are incredibly proud of his accomplishment, and we know this is only the beginning for him. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
And I got one more.
And our second student of the month, it's a joy to speak on behalf of our next student, which is Stephon Woods. He was not able to be here because they had a family emergency. And he is a brother he and his brother recently started at Nova after transferring from another district. The first day Stephon walked into my room with a smile, I immediately thought he would be a breath of fresh air. Because coming into Nova with a smile, some people who've been around will understand that. That's far in between. And he truly has been that ever since. He and his brother are well-mannered, respectful, hard-working young men. I mean, they've encouraged even some of our introvert students to come out of their shell. They naturally gravitate towards students who may need help and are excellent role models to their peers. We again want to applaud and thank Stephon Woods for being a Nova Academy student. Thank you.
Okay, I would like to say congratulations to all of our wonderful students of the month. And at this time, we are going to first give a round of applause for all of our students of the month. And we're going to take like a 2-minute recess. Just if anybody wants to leave at this time, you can go ahead. We'll proceed at 6:34. All right, thank you. We're going to proceed with item number 4B. Mr. Mark Katz, President of the Oakland Schools Board of Education. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate the opportunity to be able to spend a few minutes with you to talk about what happens now as far as the appointing of a new board member to fill your vacancy. A little bit of background. This is my 14th year on the Oakland Schools Board, but I also served 21 and a half years on the Berkeley School Board. And so I've been through the process that you guys went through, unfortunately, a few times. To the best of my memory, this is the 5th or 6th time since I've been on the ISD board that we've had to make an appointment on behalf of a local board who, for whatever reason, were unable to come to agreement on who their board member would be. In fact, a year ago, we had to make an appointment for Oakland Community College. They had a vacancy on their board. They were unable to fill it. And by state law, because they couldn't do it, it came to us as the ISD for us to fill the vacancy on their behalf. And we always do hope that you as the local board will be able to come to agreement to fill your vacancy. But when you're not, we really believe that We'll put every effort we can forward to come up with the best candidate for you to be able to serve on your board and work in the best interest of not only your students, but your staff and also your community. Now, if for some reason the ISD board cannot come to an agreement, it actually then goes to the State Board of Education, and the State Board would then be responsible for filling your vacancy. We as the ISD board will fill your vacancy. I have no doubt about that. We have a board meeting tomorrow night where we'll talk about the process that we're going to use in filling the vacancy on your behalf. And there's really a couple of ways that this could really go. And I have not talked to any of my board members about it because I want to make sure that we're not doing any violations of the Open Meeting Act or anything. And we'll have our first real discussion tomorrow evening at our board meeting. A couple of things that could probably come out of that meeting. One would be is we could reopen the process, post that there's a vacancy here on the Oak Park School Board, give a number of days for people that are interested in filling the vacancy to contact Oakland Schools. Let us know that they're interested in the vacancy. Our board then would look at the applications that came in, make a decision on who we would want to interview, and then make the appointment. If we decide to go in that direction, a timeline we would probably use is we would open up the process on Wednesday morning for people to notify the ISD that they're interested in the position, and the ISD on our website would post that the vacancy is there and the process they would have to go through. We would also ask, though, that Oak Park put on their website about the vacancy and the process so it gets out to your community, who are more used to looking at your website. If the board didn't want to do that, we could actually just re-interview the one candidate that you did interview, and we could, if we wanted to, decide just to appoint that person. The state really gives us a lot of flexibility as far as how we handle the filling of the vacancy. In all honesty, really have no idea which way my board is going to go. But if you want to come to the meeting tomorrow night and kind of hear the discussion that we're going to have, you're of course more than welcome to do that. One of the things that happened when a local board a couple years ago had a vacancy like you did, they actually had 6 candidates. We decided we would re-interview the 6 candidates. So we asked them in for an interview. Only 4 of them accepted an interview. We interviewed the 4, and then we made our decision. When OCC had their vacancy, they actually had 32 people that had expressed an interest. There's no way, as you could expect, that as a board were to interview 32 people. Mm-hmm. So the first thing that we did was we kind of went through all the applications. We narrowed it down to 6 people. We interviewed those 6 people, and then we made our decision. So a lot of that would depend on how many candidates there might be. Now, if we had to come up with the timeline, if we open up the process, here's what I think it might look like. We would open up the process on Wednesday and leave the process open until the following Friday, which would be the 24th, I believe, of April. At that time, we would close really the acceptance of applications. The following week, probably on that Wednesday, we would have a special board meeting where we would review the applications that came in and make a determination on how many people we're going to interview. And if there's only 2 or 3, we would do all of them. But if for some reason there were, 20, we would probably narrow that list down. We would then, at our board meeting in May, the first Tuesday in May, is when we'd have a special meeting before our regular board meeting, actually do the interview of the candidates, and then discuss and come to a decision on who we would appoint to your board. Now, the person that does get appointed, because the term that is available still has a little bit over 4 years left on it, the person would only serve until after the election results in November are certified. And then the new board member would be seated immediately when that would happen, so they get a little bit of a head start, really. But I know that in November, you also have some 6-year terms available. And so when candidates are filing to be able to run in November, they do have to identify on their nominating petitions, are they running for the 4-year term or are they running for the 6-year term? And I was kind of looking at the Oakland County website today, and I noticed that you already do have 3 people that have filed for the 6-year term. And so one of them could decide, I didn't know about the 4-year term, maybe I'd apply for that one. But again, if you have any questions as we go through the process, I'll leave some of my business cards with Pat, And please feel free to contact me, and I'm more than happy to discuss with you where we are in the process and really what's going on. And so if you do have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them.
Any questions? Trustee Corcoran?
Good evening, Mark. How are you? The question that I had was, I know it's based on the recommendation of your board of which way you would proceed to nominate the open seat. But is it, what is the time frame? Is it the same time frame?
No,
Okay.
Actually, the ISD board has no time frame, and when we have to make a decision, we could go 6 months if we wanted to, but that's not fair to you, and it's not fair to your community. Ideally, we would like to have someone named that would be able to be seated and be sitting at your first board meeting in May.
Thank you.
Okay, again, thank you for the opportunity to share a few things with you.
Thank you, Mr. Katz.
Thank you.
Okay, we will now move on to item number 4C, bond presentation. Rockford Construction and Plant Moran, Real Point.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
It's a tough act to follow with those student presentations. I'm sure they'll remember tonight throughout their academic and adult life. So fantastic. It was great to hear all the stories. So I'm going to tell you a little bit of the story of the bond program and where we are today, and just give you a preview of the overall 2021 bond. So with that, I've got 4 agenda items that I'd like to discuss. The overview of the 2021 bond, the Series 3 scope of work that we're currently working on right now, and then a financial overview and summary of where we're at with the bond finances, and if there's any questions that you'd like to ask. So with that, the overview of the 2021 bond, as you know, the voters voted for the 2021 bond is approximately $54.4 million. And most of these items that were outlined in the bond were related to mechanical upgrades, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, temperature controls, electrical infrastructure upgrades. There were some safety and security enhancements as well, and some technology and equipment that was installed as part of the bond, and also renovation of select spaces throughout the district. Of course, it takes a team to orchestrate a bond program. We're the owner's reps for the project, Plant Moran Real Point, but we do have an architectural team of Ghaffari that would be the architect and engineer of record for the projects. We have Rockford Construction as your construction manager. We also have other sub-consultants, which would be for commissioning of the mechanical systems, which is FST, and also an environmental consultant, which is Nova Environmental, is part of the program. As I mentioned before, we're in Series 3 of the program. It's the last phase. There's 2 projects that are underway for 2026. The second half of the Nova HVAC installation, and also the Nova boiler program, which we'll discuss a little bit later on. So as far as the Series 3 scope of work, we've, some of the accomplishments here is that, like I mentioned, the first phase of the Nova HVAC installation project. We also completed the fitness center, in which I have some photographs of the completed project later on. But there's a wonderful programs to enhance the academic and the comfort spaces of the students occupying the facilities, and also the benefit of having the fitness center of underutilized space as well. So with that, just to get into a little bit more detail about the athletic training center, I'm sure all of you have seen it. The work started in the fall of 2024, and it just wrapped up in the December of 2025. It was quite a undertaking with the infill of the existing pool structure, taking out the bleachers, installing a mezzanine with a walking track, team rooms, weight rooms, meeting spaces, and upgrading the mechanical and electrical systems throughout the building. As you can see before, this is what the pool looked like with the bleachers. And then during construction, these are some photographs of the elevated track that was installed within that space. Also the weight room, turf flooring that was put down as well, along with some of the offices and meeting areas. And this was a photo that was taken during the grand opening. Also, as I mentioned before, the Nova Freshman Institute, this is, like I mentioned, year 2 of that project. It's a heavily mechanical and electrical upgrades that will be occurring in those spaces throughout the building. There was some abatement that had to occur, and we're on track at per schedule, according to Rockford Construction, we have representation here tonight as well if you have any questions. But the work continues on, and we expect the work to be wrapped up before students have classes this fall. This just kind of gives you an idea of what has been completed to date so far. 50% of the electrical infrastructure has been installed. Most of the hydronic mains have been put in for the mechanical system for heating. Air handling units were installed on the roof, about 60% of that. We still have a few more to be installed. Also, some high efficiency boilers and pumps were installed. And as I mentioned about the rooftop units as well, 7 out of the 10 rooftop units have been installed. So coming up, we're installing a transformer, some additional rooftop units, some additional hydronic piping associated with the mechanical units. So a lot of these, we show when they'll be installed. We try to do it when it's least disruptive to the students and the operation of the building as well. So we have a very orchestrated construction timeline associated with wrapping up the project at Nova. Also, there's a lot of what we call vertical unit ventilators. These are in the classrooms, and they provide air conditioning capabilities as well. And we've installed 28, well, there will be an installation of 28 new vertical unit vents, 15 on the second floor and 13 on the first floor. And this gives you some idea of what the mechanical systems look like. On the left is a boiler, a hydronic boiler. In the right is new electrical panels to provide additional power for the building. Usually when you put technology installations, you need to upgrade the power, and this is part of the program. These are some rooftop units that have been installed. And we have some, this is an example of the old boiler and a proposed new boiler for Nova. This is part of our alternate 8 proposal for servicing the Nova building. And right now it has an antiquated existing boiler that needs to be decommissioned and a new proposed boiler and pumps put in its place. So getting on to the financial summary. So if you could take a look at this page here. I know that the print on the screen is kind of small, but I'll go over some of the major aspects of the summary for you. So we've broken it down into 7 different bid packs. The phase 2 bid pack of number 6 is underway. That's the construction at Nova. That's basically for the phase 1 and phase 2 is $9.4 million. If you take all the bid packs and you add them up, it's about $46 million worth of construction. With that, we have soft costs and other costs and future commitments like the boiler at Nova and move management, some firewall replacement associated with this program. So looking at the soft costs and other costs, it's about $16.6 million. So that gives you $62.6 million. So the $62.6 million is different from the $54.4 million that was approved by the voters. But what added to that number were several different items. $3 million for the Healthy Kids Grant. That's 12A funds. We also have earned interest on the money that for the bond program. So as we do construction, there's money basically in the bank earning interest, and that came out to so far 1.2 million, which adds to your bond program. And then we have 4 million in ESSER funds and sinking funds that were attributed to the program. So that total comes out to 62.6 million. So as far as next steps, we also are proposing a 10-year capital plan that was requested by the district. And what this is looking at your existing buildings. After we've been through your buildings for the past 5 years, there's always more need. So with the conditions assessment report, what that does is gives you an updated capital plan for 10 years, which will allow you to understand the magnitude of additional capital costs associated with your building, and you can pick and choose what you feel that you need to address going forward based on need. Usually we categorize need by critical, deferred, and something that you could do down the road, maybe 5 to 7 years out. So it's a great document to have to understand your facilities and what needs to be done next. You have approximately 9 buildings that would be part of that program, and we would work with Rockford to analyze the buildings and put together this document for your use. So with that, is there any questions associated with the bond program?
Trustee Corcoran?
I don't know why I sound like I'm always asking these questions. Oh my God. Jeez Louise. I said I was wondering, I just start feeling some kind of way because I'm always answering a question. So I just thought to share that feeling. I did have a couple of questions. One, the bond that was 2021, now we're in 2026. Was there any inflection in items such as, things go up, in fluctuation goes up?
Yeah, the market, because of tariffs and everything else, we really weren't impacted that greatly with this program. It's all about market timing and when you submit the bid and when the prices escalate. When contractors submit the bid, they have to lock into that bid, and usually we bid things out in the fall and the winter for the next year's work. So we're fortunate to have a good bidding pool. We weren't really impacted by costs as much as others have been with the fluctuating market. As you can see, petroleum right now is through the roof, and that affects your roofing products, which are petroleum-based products. Right now, we don't have any roofing projects or anything like that would affect it. We bought out all the rooftop units, so we don't have any issues with that. So we've planned this in advance to kind of mitigate our risk associated with materials.
Okay, and the other question that I had was, you spoke about the actual bond. So I know this series is the third one, so that would be the last one for
Correct.
this bond. Okay, and it states that on May 4th, 2021, there was the school bond. This is the bond that you're still talking about, the 64 million, right?
Right. Within that 60, well, it's 62.
Excuse me,
62.6 million roughly, and that includes the original bond amount of 54.4 million, and all the other adds to it would be the Healthy Kids Grant, the 12A funds, earned interest on the bond proceeds, and that's for all 3 series. And then we have the ESSER and sinking funds of approximately 4 million. So that all adds up to, on the top of the 54.4 million, about 62.6 million.
Okay, so I just want to be clear. So the extra bonds that we received is to replace the difference in the total from the 54 million, correct?
Yeah,
Because this is our total.
Yeah.
Is 62.
It's not really bonds because it's different.
These are grants.
Yeah,
And then you have the
grants,
sinking
or
fund
interest sinking
from the
fund.
mill.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So you mentioned interest. The interest, it accrued because of the time. How does interest accrue?
It's over the investment while it sits in the bank. So rather than, not utilizing the leverage of the market, you invest the funds into instruments that are liquid, basically. A lot of folks, they put money into CDs and whatnot because you can get access to the money quickly. Same with bonds. Basically, you're limited to what you can invest in it, and so far the investment's paid off, and you've got about $1.3 million on top of the existing $54.4 million that was issued to the taxpayers of Park.
And then there was a question that I had about the units that are going in these classrooms.
Yep.
So the units I have a real big problem with because I've seen these huge, enormous, bulky looking units. And it's just like that wall right there. See how that wall just sticks out, this little,
This here?
maybe it's a vent under there, I don't know. But it's just like that. It's like it hides, some of these units are near a door. You can't, it's like a dead zone. And is there any other alternative of not putting these vertical
Unit ventilators.
oversized? Yeah.
There is, if you put rooftop units and duct, but that poses challenges because structurally you're altering the building in order to get ductwork from the roof down to the lower spaces. It's also more difficult when you have to go down to the first level if it's a two-story building. So the unit ventilator is a more practical solution when it comes to individual classrooms. I mean, you probably would agree from the construction side. It does afford you heat and cooling for that room as well. So it's temperature controlled for each classroom. When you get into trying to condition spaces with a rooftop unit, there's a lot of issues with fire dampering of the dampers. There's also probably some abatement that has to occur because of asbestos in the corridors and things like that, maybe. So it becomes more complicated and more costly. A unit ventilator per classroom would be, what, 30,000? Somewhere in that range. Where when you talk about a rooftop unit, it could be in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. Plus the structural support of it, if you can support it on the roof or whatever, it does add a lot of cost to the program.
So I know that those vents had caused a lot of issues, either from not working or they blow out this air at the top. And some of the teachers' desks were like right there and it would just blow. And I don't know if you all have an idea this time to make it where that wind or that air doesn't just blow on someone.
I think if you put diffusers on it to direct the airflow away from the desk area, I think we can look into that.
So when you go into a classroom, and I know there's like 26, I think you said, that's going to be installed, each classroom has their own measurements.
Right.
So all of them are not the same. So how do you judge what is roomy? Like, because some of these rooms are, I've been in a room with that ventilator or in the room, and it takes up so much space.
Well, we have our architects that go out and they measure the spaces to accommodate the units, and they size the units according to the size of the space. There's a certain amount of cubic feet or distribution of air within a space that they accommodate and design to. So every room is unique, like you mentioned, and it's their responsibility to go and measure the room and size the unit to that space.
So you're saying that those units they can come larger, smaller?
Yes, they could, depending on how big the space is.
And then my last question had something to do with the RFPs. When you go out for that, is it like, are they union, that are the bidders, or?
There's no union requirement for this project. Sometimes when you have certain funds that require union labor, that is something that we abide by. But for this engagement, union labor is not a requirement.
Understood. So then, those proposals just come from all around or local?
They could go, I believe you solicit local firms to start, because we always want businesses locally to participate in a bond program
All right, I think
for a school district. But it's an open bid process, and then Rockford vets out those bids to make sure that they're compliant.
You mentioned about equipment, back on the Series 3. Equipment like what type of equipment are you talking about?
Probably electrical switchgear. It could be pumps associated with mechanical systems. It could be, for instance, a mini split system to help cool a IT room. So that's basically a broad categorization of equipment.
Okay, I just needed to get an idea. I promise, this is my last question.
No, that's fine.
Oh my God, did it lose me? Oh, so if you run into an issue, seeing that we're only allotted this amount,
Right.
what happens? Like
Every
what?
project that we do, we have a contingency associated with it. And what you want to do is hold that contingency as the project goes forth, because you open up a wall perhaps and you find like some pipes that you have to relocate. It's just like doing a renovation in your house. You may come across a wall that you thought wasn't a bearing wall, and it is a bearing wall, so you have to put a beam in. So what we do is reserve funds to allow for any mishaps, if you will. And as the projects close out, you can release that contingency for other uses within the district.
And just,
go ahead.
And just to confirm, this is the last building that has to have
That's
this
correct.
done. And it'll be done around 2028? 2 years?
This year, this fall.
Oh, it'll be done this year?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. No, completed
Yes.
this year. Okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
Any other questions? All right. Thank you, sir.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
We will now move forward to item number 4D, firewall replacement project. Presenter Jeff. What's your last name, sir? Jeff? Modgers. Thank you. Welcome.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Jeff Mosgers. I'm the Director of Technology for Oak Park Schools through the intergovernmental agreement with Oakland Schools. It's my pleasure to be here tonight and present the E-Rate Services Technology Firewall Replacement Project for the board. Just a real quick overview. We'll show you a little bit about the network and exactly what piece of equipment we're proposing to replace, talk a little bit about E-Rate funding, because we don't do this very often. Usually it's every other year or so that we have E-Rate funded projects, go over the bid summary and present our recommendation for you this evening. And then if you have any questions, please feel free to jump in and we'll get those answered for you. And if not, I'll go to the smarter people and come back to you next meeting.
Well, since you said E-rate, can you explain what the E-rate is about the 90% based on community?
Yep, I'll come into that
Okay, good.
when we get into the E-rate section, if that's okay. So for right now, this isn't the best diagram, but it's a simple diagram. Basically, our district has what we call a network. So we have the internet coming into the district. You'll see the next piece of equipment is called the firewall and content filter. That's what we're talking about tonight. So that is basically the gatekeeper, our security measures between us and everybody else. So it keeps our middle schoolers in the district from doing things outside, and it keeps the bad threat actors from getting into our district. So it's a key piece of our security equipment. Then you come into your core switches, which go then to your building switches, which then connect to all of the devices across the district. whether it's your phones, your laptops here, your wireless access points, our projectors, whatever it is that's out on the end user side. So real simplified diagram, just kind of where in the pecking order we are talking today. So E-rate, it's the most complicated federal program out there. Nobody really understands it. We just try to use our consultant to stay one step ahead of the federal government and get our fair share. So the E-rate program is basically funded through Telcom. It started many years ago, 20-some years ago, 25, 30 years ago. It was a surcharge on your phone bills. So when you had your landlines, you would see like a 95-cent surcharge that said USF, Universal Service Fund. Now it's on your cell phones, and those of us that still have landlines still pay that. But what it does is it goes up to the federal government, and then the federal government distributes it to public schools and libraries. So public libraries are also eligible to go for E-rate funding as well. And every 5 years, they kind of reset the funding. So for this funding cycle, Oak Park has available to them $452,000 and some change. Now the stipulation is there's about 4 things that you can use that on. So it's basically everything you saw on that previous diagram, which is considered the network. So it's your internet access, your firewall, your switches, and your wireless access points. We can't use it for staffing. We can't use it for devices like your laptops. We can't use it for smart boards, any of that. So you have a decent sized pool to help keep our network up to speed. And it was originally created to help get internet into the school systems and the libraries and build equity across all the districts across the nation. Questions to this point? Okay, so with E-rate comes this really convoluted formula of how much money you can really get back. It's based upon your free and reduced enrollment. So Oak Park qualifies for about 85% in the E-rate formula. So if we spend $100,000 on a project, we get $85,000 back on it. Now the firewall is a whole different rule, because parts of it are not eligible and parts of it are eligible. For some reason, the government hasn't caught up to where we need to be from cybersecurity, so they only fund really the hardware portion. So I'll explain that as we get into the recommendation, what we're anticipating back on it. But Oak Park, Oakland Schools, all of the districts around the county use an E-rate consultant that keeps on top of all the changes in the federal rules, the submission deadlines. For the small amount that we hire the consultant for, he's worth his weight in gold. So with this project, it's a little bit different. Being part of the field service model with Oakland Schools, you have 15 partner districts in what we call the Oakland Schools field model. And what we did was work with Oakland Schools to put out the RFP for this E-rate project. So all 15 districts are having their firewalls replaced this summer. What it does is it allows us an economy of scale and standardization across all of those districts that are directly supported by the Oakland Schools field model. So it saves on training, it saves on knowledge transfer, cross-training, so those staff members aren't learning 4, 5, 6 different products to keep all of our districts safe. So the RFP went out through Oakland Schools because they also have a piece of it and they're the issuing agency. We received 6 bids, and that's in your board packet, I believe. There's a summary total. It's a little confusing because a couple of the bids say no bid. The problem is the bids were released with a couple different sections, and those vendors chose not to bid on the firewall section. So there was some other stuff Oakland had in their E-rate bid. I think there were some wireless access points and stuff. Those vendors didn't bid on the firewall section of that bid. So you see no bid. So really we had 3 good firewall bids. We had solutions from the major players, Cisco, Palo Alto, and Fortinet. The project should take, once all the districts approve it, should start around June and be completed by September. We have to work around the district calendars a little bit, try to get the summer work. Downtime is probably a couple hours per district. They'll get it all configured, set up, and then they'll just switch it out in the evening hours to minimize downtime. So the E-rate reimbursement, as I said, we're up to, I use some rough numbers because the exact science in calculating everything is always fluid. I say up to 80% of our eligible expenses. We're anticipating about a $20,000 refund from the federal government on this particular project. The recommendation is for Delta Network Solutions, which is the Fortinet solution. Oak Park has used the Fortinet product for the last 6 years, and we've come to the end of life on our current one. It's been a good, reliable, cost-effective solution. About half the price of some of the other players, as you could see in some of those quotes. We're going to apply, as Plant Moran said, we have district contingencies that we like to have on our project awards, just in case something were to go wrong and we needed a few things, so we didn't have to come back to the board for small items. Maybe we needed some patch cables or some fiber cables that broke during installation, things that are unanticipated, so we include that in there. The funding for this is a combination of the bond technology allocation and the federal E-rate program. So we'll apply once the project's done for E-rate reimbursement. We use the bond funds to seed the project so we can get going and don't have to wait for the federal government to approve in September or October the project and fund it fully. And then what we do is we get the reimbursement at that time and put it back into the bond. So it's just kind of allowing us to get going in our off time of not having a lot of students over the summer and complete that project. There is a non-E-rate eligible portion of this, and that's about $11,500. That's mainly the software that makes these firewalls beneficial. And we call them next generation firewalls because they're so much more intelligent and intuitive and AI incorporated from the analytics side to help protect our students and our staff from threat actors from all over the world. So that software, unfortunately, isn't E-rate eligible. So Oakland Schools is going to purchase that and then bill the districts for their portion of it. And because we're doing 15 firewalls across the districts, we don't have to buy all of those features and functions for each individual district. We buy it at the county level and then kind of spread the cost across the 15. So that helps reduce some of our overall costs. That'll be part of the operational 26 budget when it comes in from Oakland Schools. So we'll be able to build that into our budget for next year, 26, 27, sorry. That's it in a nutshell. I'm happy to entertain any questions.
Any questions? Trustee Corcoran, you have the floor.
Thank you. So we have the Senate bill that passed about the cell phones, Bill 4141. I did read where we talked about, in the presentation in our board book that it talked about the cell phones. How does that, seeing that the cell phones are supposed to, be stored, but sometimes it may not, but does this coincide with cell phones as well?
No.
So, but the the Wi-Fi does?
Correct.
Okay. So the Wi-Fi, how is it just open? Do you have to have a
Nope.
code? Oh.
Nope. So we have a Wi-Fi network, so all the devices can connect into the Oak Park Secure Network. That is all filtered according to the Children's Internet Privacy Protection Act and the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act. So SIPA and COPA requires us to filter out sexually explicit material. It's not flawless because kids find VPNs and try and work around it, from their personal devices or whatnot. But all of our devices go through the filter. Anybody that connects to the network goes through the filter. So while we have open pieces to the network, they're still filtered to meet those requirements. So we have guest networks and whatnot. But As far as the cell phone ban bill, that's more of a student code of conduct implementation and how we handle that in the classroom versus a networking piece. We can tell what phones, like all of your devices, I can have our network admin go through and count and see how many devices are connected in here. And it's always more than you ever anticipate.
You answered that question for me. And the other one was, you stated that if the bill, whatever is not covered, that we would pay the rest. I was just wondering, this may not be a question for you, it may be a question for finance, but where would that allotted money come out of?
It would come
as
out
far
of-
as our budget goes?
For this, it would be the $11,000?
Yes.
That will be out of our operational budget for next year.
Yeah,
We'll build
but-
it into the budget. That's not covered at all. The $20,000, say E-rate, the federal government decided to pull the rug on us at the last minute and not fund any of the E-rate projects, which they haven't done in the 30 years I've been in this field. We would be responsible for that cost, and we would just use our bond dollars for it, for which we have allocated.
Thank you.
Did you have a question?
That was my question with the money.
Okay. Any other questions?
Where's the money go?
That was my
Right.
question right there. That's it for me.
And we try to work, again, with Tiffany and superintendent to make sure that, we're allocating as fiscally responsible in that bond project dollars. So we have things we can defer, should we need to, and things that we pull forward, like the firewall, when we have opportunities to save some extra money.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll go to item number 4E, Summer School 2026. Presenters Shayna Murphy and DeShayla Wright.
Going to amend the agenda? Not necessarily. I do want to provide this opportunity for the team to come and present. I know I have 2 roles at this time, but I have a more than capable team to come up and do our summer school presentation. Let's please welcome up DeShayla Wright, who is our K-12 District ELA Coordinator. ELA and Continuous Improvement. We also have our newest member, Miss Kirsten Trubsheek, who is a teacher at Nova, but also she is our newly appointed summer school coordinator. And then we have Dr. Omotola Olawole, who is our District Director of Specialized Student Services. These 3 ladies will take it from here.
Thank you. As our Superintendent Shayna Murphy said, I am Shayla Wright, our K-12 ELA and Continuous Improvement Coordinator, and today we are going to present on summer school in relation to a grant that we have that our Supervisor of Data and Special Projects Sherry Bugzeiger, she collaborated with us on this. Okay, so here we have our core beliefs. And these are from our original Oak Park Schools slides and district core beliefs. So making sure we maintain a physical, emotional, and cultural safety, build productive relationships with all stakeholders, provide equitable anti-racist instruction and practices, prepare thoughtful, successful, and engaged members of a global community, and maximize our resources with transparency and accountability. So the presentation that we're going to do today is aligned to that last core value, core belief there. Alrighty, so this is our 2nd year being awarded the Bomber Group grant. So this grant is in partnership with the Lavinia Group, the Bomber Group, and the United Way. And this is the Summer Discovery Grant powered by the United Way area of southeastern Michigan. This year the funding is a little different, so it went up, or we had an increase of a couple $100s per pupil. So that's per student, $17.50 per student. The grant will be covering that, the Bomber Group grant, and the United Way. Also, another change or update, I should say, that the grant is providing is the student range. So before, this grant was rising kinder to 8th grade, and now they extended it to offer funding for our rising kinder all the way up to 10th grade. So we have 2 additional grade levels added this year. So as for our program, we will have 4 days per week. It will be a total of 5 weeks. I have a schedule and calendar coming up that Mrs. Sheik will present, but this is just a quick overview. 2 of those days, so we're going to do Monday through Friday, but we're going to do Monday through Thursday, but we'll have 2 Fridays that will be field trips. And what the funding covers are staff salaries, transportation, materials, meals, and enrichment activities, as well as field trip expenses. Okay, so here are all of our district institutes. And if I'm going too fast, please just wave. I'll slow down. Sorry. But you guys do have a copy of the presentation. Okay. All right. So all district institutes will be covered. So we have transportation in partnership with our operations team for number 1. All students will be offered transportation and bus services similar to the regular school year schedule. So we'll try to provide the same routes or similar routes so that all students will have transportation to get to summer school. Second thing is our curricular resources in our curriculum. So we are going to be aligned to the standards. We have our essential standards that we covered throughout the school year. So we pretty much just look at that data to see how students did on those particular standards, whether they need extension as it relates to those standards or some intervention. So we choose our curricular resource based off of spring and winter assessments. So it's very targeted and it will address students' needs. Number 3, we have food services. Students will receive a hot breakfast and lunch provided daily. So we will also be working with our operations team on that. And last but not least, our staffing. The Office of Teaching and Learning will be handling staffing. So far, we hired 1 coordinator, and we are look to onboard and hire some more candidates soon. So Oak Park Schools instructional leaders and highly qualified certified teachers and paraeducators will be a part of our summer school staff. All right, so now I'm going to hand it over to Mrs. Sheik to talk a little bit about our program locations.
Okay, great. Hello. So the program locations for 1, for elementary K through 5, it's going to be located at Key Elementary. 2, the middle school, 6th through 8th grade, will be located at OPA. 3, the high school and Nova combined will be located at the high school in designated areas. And ESY, Specialized Services, will be located at OPA. The calendar, as the Shayla was talking about, is Monday through Thursday, starting on June 22nd. The 2 Fridays that will be going on a field trip will be July 10th and July 24th. Monday through Thursday. It's pretty simple there. Okay. Moving on. The K through 8 Summer Discovery. K through 8, the daily schedule overview is early care and arrival, 7 to 8, before care and parent drop-off. At 7:30, the buses will be arriving. At 7:45 through 8:30, the arrival and breakfast. And then at 8:30, instruction begins till 11:30 for math and English. The lunch break is from 11:30 till 12, and 12 to 12:30 will be teacher planning. After that will be the afternoon enrichment and aftercare from 12 till 3, which would be SEL and enrichment activities. 3 to 3:45 is aftercare, which is available for students. Enrichment programs, they are arts, music, dance, theater, visual arts activities, social emotional, which is group interactions and team building games, STEM, which is hands-on science and technology projects. And finally, physical education, which is sports, games, and outdoor activities. The K-8 Summer Discovery, student selection, 75% attendance is a must. Students at risk based on iReady standards and scores. Academics, we're focusing on literacy, math, and social emotional learning. Nutrition, hot breakfast and lunch will be served, lunchroom daily. SEL, community building, growth mindset and goal setting, emotional management, empathy, and kindness. The summer discovery instruction, the summer curriculum is,
Okay. I'll talk a little bit more about curriculum. All right, so I kind of briefly went over our curricular resources and our curriculum that we will be using for summer. So our ELA instruction will include direct instruction. So it wouldn't be students just on a computer or doing worksheets. Teachers will be teaching. So we will be still using our same instructional framework, our graduate release framework. There will be differentiated instruction in small groups for specific students to meet specific students' needs. And the resources that we will be using is Haggerty and iReady. So iReady has a computer platform and an actual curriculum with the teacher guide, student workbooks, and things like that. So when we're referring to iReady, we're not just referring to the online program. It is actually like a packaged curriculum, and we use the data to determine what to order for scholars. And that usually, the iReady data or the growth data usually come out in the spring. So we use that in order to decide what we need to order so we don't have too much of curriculum that we don't need. We wanted to really match our students' needs. We also have social emotional learning, and our main resource for that is, of course, Capturing Kids' Hearts. This is just this is the curriculum that we use throughout the school year, so we want to keep it consistent for the summer. And as far as math, it mirrors ELA. One thing I did not say is one of the requirements of the grant is that we have to have 90 minutes of ELA instruction and 90 minutes of math instruction. So we will be doing direct instruction during that time as well. The core curricular resource we will be using is Satlier, and Satlier is our newly piloted math curriculum. We will also be using iReady, and we will use the iReady online platform for math as well to supplement our core instruction, as well as like math recovery. So that is mainly like small group instruction, rotation centers, and things like that for our little ones. Okay, program impact. One of the things I didn't include in here that I'll share with the board later is our academic growth. So last year was our first year. We had an amazing turnout. There were some growth areas, but the highlight of last year's program was our academic growth. Our students showed growth and demonstrated growth in the double digits from the pre-test to the post-test. And that data was shared with us from our grant partners. So what that means is what we were doing last year was working. So we're going to try to mirror that as far as our curricular resource go and our assessment. Second thing, enrichment. So we know it's summer and kids want to have a good time and do some activities, right? So we have a lot of creative activities that foster new skills and interests. Last year we put on a big performing arts program thanks to one of our principals, Key Elementary Principal Demila Prince. We had an amazing turnout for that, where students were able to showcase their talent, whether it's singing, dancing, art, graphic arts, or just performing arts. So students were able to do that. There were also additional enrichment clubs. So if you maybe not want to do dancing, but you want to do something else as far as like a particular club, that was available as well. Next, we have our social emotional development. So we did have culture coordinators in the buildings last year for CKH because we had we had leaders who focused on academics, leaders who focused on enrichment, and SEL. So we made sure that that support was targeted throughout summer school. And also, this is a way to build community. So one of the things the Barmer Group is doing differently this year is getting more parent engagement. So there are specific questions that we had to include in our enrollment form for students to sign up. And that is just to gauge how families are viewing our program and what are some things that they may want to see within our program. So we're still collecting that data, and we will be incorporating those things into our summer school programming as well. All right, so we're going to turn back to Mrs. Sheik.
OPHS, and NOVA. The summer selection, credit deficient, 9th and 10th grade missing ELA and math credits. The 11th and 12th graders will be doing missing graduation credits. Academics, the 9th and 10th graders will be learning, facilitating through direct instruction, ELA and math. And then 11th and 12th graders will be doing web-based credit recovery, so they'll be only doing credit recovery. Nutrition, hot breakfast and lunch for them as well. And the SEL, community building in groups with SEL team members. A lead counselor will be on site and capturing kids' hearts. The summer curriculum, core subjects, direct instruction, blended learning with Edmonton, social emotional learning, counseling, support, and SEL group, and capturing kids' hearts. Hands-on activity will be disciplined, specific, culminating projects. The schedule for the 9th and 10th graders will be arriving from 7:45 to 8:15 will be breakfast and arrival. 8:15 to 9:50 will be their first hour, ELA and math. 9:50 to 9:55 will be transition, class rotation. 9:55 through 11:30 will be the second hour, math, ELA. And then 11:30 to 12 will be lunch and then dismissal. And then for the 11th and 12th graders, their schedule will be 7:45 to 8:15 breakfast arrival. 8:15 to 9:15 will be first hour, credit recovery 1. 9:20 to 10:20 second hour, credit recovery 2. 10:25 to 11:25 will be third hour, credit recovery 3. And then 11:30 to 12, they'll be having lunch and dismissal as well. Oh, this is my part too. I'm sorry. We are committed to building up our teacher leaders and providing opportunities for teachers to showcase their leadership skills. Included the Summer Discovery Grant, we hired summer school coordinator, Mrs. Sheik, that's me. And each site, elementary, middle, and high school, will be led by a teacher leader, i.e. site director. And then our goal is to provide more leadership opportunities for our staff. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Dr. Omotola Oluwole, the Director of Office of Specialized Student Services at Oak Park Schools. Thank you. And today I'm going to be sharing the extended school year. First of all, we want to know what extended school year is. And ESY provides specialized support for students that require instruction beyond the normal school year. So, decisions must be made by the IEP team, which includes the parents, of course, and based on documented data. So ESY, we have what ESY is and what it is not. ESY is considered for every student at every individualized education program. So what we do is that we make sure that it is individualized for every student. And also, like I've said earlier, it is supported by data. And ESY is also a service that supports the maintenance of critical IEP goals, and it prevents regression. Like, for example, if a student has a reading goal, and we know that if the student does not come for ESY, he or she might regress. We start taking data during breaks. When the students are on breaks, such as winter break, spring break, teachers, they take the data, and also the service providers. And that's how the IEP team use that information to make sure to decide, to determine whether the student will benefit from extended school year. And what it is not. Extended school year, it is not mandated for every student with an IEP. Why? Because it is individualized, and also because it depends on the data that is collected. Also, it is not based on disability area. We cannot say, oh, because a student is cognitively impaired or a student has autism spectrum disorder, he or she should not or should come for ESY. And it is not automatic from year to year. And extended school year is not also for new goals, an objective that is not yet introduced. It is to maintain the skills, not to introduce new goals. And exactly, it is never based on staffing, availability, or program convenience. Like, for example, we cannot say because there is no speech therapist or because there is no funding, we're not going to provide ESY. Extended school year, ESY selection criteria. There are 3 standards for this, and the first one is regression/recoupment. So we look at data to see if data indicates a serious potential for regression of skills following a prolonged break in instruction. And also we look at the amount of time that it will take for that student to be able to recoup the skill. Then standard 2 talks about the nature or severity of disability. And for that, we determine whether data indicates that the nature or severity of the student's disability will significantly decrease progress over prolonged breaks. Like, for example, if a student has already made some progress on a behavior or maybe academics, then we look at the nature of severity of disability to see if we do not offer the ESY to the student based on data and individualized, if the student comes back from the break, from summer break, will the student still be maintaining that goals, the behavioral goals that he or she has achieved? And if data shows that the student might regress, then we have to provide ESY. Then the standard 3 is critical areas, stages of learning. And we use data to determine if the current stage of achievement requires services beyond the school year to achieve the identified skill. ESY program daily schedule. The tentative schedule for now that we have made is we will start 8:30. From 8:30 to 8:45, there will be breakfast, and students will arrive, and then there will be transition. I also want to say that the staff will be starting at 8 o'clock, and staff will end at 1 o'clock, but students will come at 8:30. Then, from 8:45 to 10 o'clock, IEP goals. We will work on IEP goals on, it can be academics, it can be the service, the related services, such as occupational therapy, speech therapy and social work. And we use that, we determine that based on each child's individualized goal/IEP. Now, from 10 to 10:30, recess, there will be recess because we understand that it is important for our students to get some activities and also get some fresh air, especially during summertime. So, and the activity will be games. We want them to be really engaged. Games for them to want to come. Activities and choice time. And then from 10:30 to 11, we'll have centers. And centers, during that time, we have different task boxes, projects, center rotations. We have activities planned that will ensure that our students are maintaining their skills and also they are getting all the skills that they should have. Then from 11 to 11:30, there will be lunch and hot lunch will be provided. Then 11:30 to 12:30, we will have social emotional learning, SEL. And this will be a time that students will be able to engage in social/community communication skills. The reason why I mentioned that this might be kind of like tentative is that ESY is individualized for each of our students. So during this time, we might have some students who might benefit from some other services that are on their IEP, for them to have ESY on. And what do I mean by that? Student A might have just academic goals that needs to be worked on for extended school year, whereas student B, ESY might include speech therapy or any other related service. And the location for ESY this year will be Oak Park Preparatory Academy. So at this point, I'm going to, would you like me to say this or you will? Okay, come on.
Any questions, comments?
I've got a
Yes.
question.
So my first question, well, probably my only question. I don't know if you touched on it, but during teacher planning, what is the kids do during that? There's like recess?
No, so we have staggered arrival and dismissal time. So as teachers are leaving the building, then we have the enrichment teachers coming in to cover. We also have paras to cover as well. So it's similar to like during the school year. So during the school year, we have the special electives teachers. They cover the teachers' prep or planning hour. So it's very similar to that. We have like a staggered schedule for enrichment and para staff to provide that coverage.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Rogers, got the floor.
Going back to the high school 11th and 12th grade summer school schedule, I know theirs is web-based credit recovery, so if there's a 12th grader that only has one class to recover, how does their schedule look? Do they just go for credit recovery 1 and then go home, or do they have to stay for the whole day?
So it will be differentiated. So if there are some students who may need credit recovery more than others, and we do try to catch like maybe a 12th grader who was supposed to maybe graduate this year but needed just one more credit to make it. So that student's schedule will look a little bit different from an 11th grader who maybe have 4 credits to recover. And the site lead is the person who will determine what exactly that will look like for that particular student, because we had that in the past.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Trustee Corcoran?
Yes.
On the floor.
So you said that they would stay in school all day, or they would be?
No, they will
It's
be.
based on
Yeah,
how many
it's
credits?
based on how many credits they need. So they will be able to dismiss early if that is their situation, yes.
You talked about kinder.
Yes.
What's kinder?
So kindergarten and rising kindergarten students. So what that means is our GSRP students or our Young 5 students who will be enrolled in our elementary schools this upcoming school year for the fall, they will be the rising kindergarten students.
So it would be the ones who are in preschool now moving to kindergarten?
Correct.
Okay. What's the projected amount of children that is already enrolled in summer school?
So the enrollment is ongoing. We sent out the enrollment district-wide twice. And the last numbers that I checked was around 100 and something students enrolled or families enrolled. Mrs. Murphy, you can update us on those numbers. So that was the end of last week when I checked those numbers. I'm sorry. We also, a stipulation or a requirement of the grant is that we cannot close enrollment, so it's ongoing. We do have a targeted number that our teaching and learning team put together, as well as our supervisor of grants. However, that number, we met that number last year. However, I don't want to disclose that number just yet. Yes.
So currently, based on our parent email that has gone out twice, we have about 170 students. It's one line per family, so a family can have multiple kids on one line. And that's just only K-8 enrollment, not high school. We do separately because it's credit recovery, right? So we have to look at their transcripts. The counselors have to give recommendations. Teachers give recommendations about what students need that. So this is only our K-8 parent enrollment or student enrollment at this time.
Yes, and I'm just going to elaborate. I'm sorry. So when I checked last week, it was 106. So now from last week to this week, we're up in enrollment. Also, with the targeted number, that could change because sometimes we can go in and edit the grant. So I'm not sure if that has been done at this moment or not, as far as that.
So for the high school or the middle school, we don't have that number, right?
So the 170-ish is K-8, elementary, middle.
Right.
High school, we don't have the number yet. They have to do the credit, transfer audit.
Yeah. And I was writing as you were going. Transportation. Is that transportation for, how does that transportation work? As far as pickup, where they're picking up, are they going all the way across 8 Mile? Yeah.
Yes, so because we are a school of choice district, we will be going across 8 Mile because those are the students we serve. Those are Oak Park students. So we don't want to exclude those students because they can't have a ride here. So we are providing transportation that is very similar to our during the school year transportation routes.
Okay. I'm not gonna get into the routes. Curriculum. You said there was intervention. Is there so many that you have? I know I saw the schedule. So are there so many that are supposed to be at the high school, at the elementary, as far as the intervention coaches, are they?
No.
What are-
So intervention and differentiated instruction will be provided by the summer school staff. So it's not an additional staff member. So this is all one staff member who will be providing targeted support. And when staff sign up for summer school, they are aware of that.
Okay, because it says standards-based and targeted programming to
Yep.
address students' needs.
Correct. Yep.
And with that, I'm sorry, just to clarify, what that means is, like Shayla mentioned, we take a look at the iReady data for the winter and the spring, because we can't teach everything in a 5-week program, right? So we take a look at the data and we determine, okay, all of our second graders seem to be having a little trouble with 2-digit subtraction with regrouping. So we make sure that that's a standard that is taught or retaught in summer school so that before they get to 3rd grade in the fall, they've had an opportunity to master that standard. So we just take a look at the data because you can't teach all things in 5 weeks, so we target it in that way.
The staffing. Is there a date or is there an application for the teachers that are hired now? Because I know you guys go out for like recommendations who want to, because I remember last time we got everybody. So is there a deadline to who you will know?
So we usually, on our job postings, we put until filled or a specific date. So our goal is to first hire our site lead. So we need 3 because we have 3 buildings that will be open. And then from there, we will be hiring our staff. And our goal is to hire those people before the end of this month.
So can 3 of those people be an actual staff member already?
Yes, so we're only offering these positions to Oak Park School District staff. And this year, what Mrs. Sheik went over briefly is that we are offering teachers an opportunity to have a leadership role as well. So last year, we had our principals, they were able to apply for the site leads. This year, we kind of switched gears in order to give those teachers who may have a admin certification, they will have the opportunity to apply for the position. We'll go through the interview process, and then we'll choose, we'll select the staff, and then we'll onboard them.
Do you have a projected attendance? Well, that was the 170, what happened?
Yes.
Last year we had 500 or 600 students last year.
Yeah.
Target?
Yeah, we had in between, 500 and 600 students. Our target numbers right now is a little over that. We're being a little bit ambitious this year. And as far as attendance goes, we have to have 75% or higher attendance every day. So we are also making sure, like, once we get the students enrolled and that they actually attend every day.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because my question was, what if you fall short of that 75%?
Last year, which we have, we did some realignment. So our office got together and we tried to figure out what are some things that we can offer families and students in order to get the students here. So we did some giveaways, incentives. We also, this year, we will be incentivizing the field trip. So students will have to come to the program a certain amount of days in order to attend the field trip. Simply because, like, that is how we actually stay in alignment with the requirements of the grant. So we want to stay above that 75% every day. And honestly, it worked. So what we did last year, it worked, and for the remainder of the summer, we were able to sustain our attendance. And this year, we're going to go even harder with that.
Thank you. Now, this part, I wish we would have had more time, because this presentation is pretty long. And it's a little confusing when it comes to the Haggerty and the salad. Yes.
Salad.
So I don't know anything about these.
So Sadlier is our math curricular resource that we piloted last year and the board approved, thank you. And so that is our core curricular resource for really young 5s all the way up to 5th grade. So it's our normal curriculum that we use and that we just piloted last year.
Just brought it in.
Yep.
Yeah, because I do remember, because it used to be, it didn't include the high school, and now it does. Is that the one? This,
No.
You're probably thinking IXL.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the Haggerty is just for ELA, I assume.
Yes, correct.
So moving on, all right. The disciplinary, the disciplinary specifics, what is that like?
So discipline, what we mean by that is by subject. So we have like math, science, social studies, ELA. So content specific is usually when we're talking about a discipline. Yep.
And is that specific discipline culminating?
Yes.
Culminating. I want to
Yes.
say calming. All
All
right,
right, we
thank
want
you.
it to be calming too.
Yes. Calm. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
With the transportation, so like Oak Park is kind of small, but it's really it can be a little distance. So like the children who go to Pepper, and then this is going to be at Key, will they be able to get the bus? Like, will the bus go to their home, or will the bus go to like a meetup spot?
Yeah.
How would
Yes.
that work?
Not to the house.
No.
Unless they are an ESY student or a student receiving those special services. But we'll, our transportation crew, they'll get access to our enrollment and they'll start mapping those routes out. They'll look at the addresses of currently enrolled students, and then they'll start saying, okay, I got 10 kids at this intersection. I'll pick up at Albany and, 9 Mile, I'll pick up, So they'll start mapping those routes, but they would definitely receive transportation. As long as they're not 0.5 miles within the school, because that's walking distance. But if they're a Pepper student and the summer school program is at Key, they get transportation.
Okay. And then as far as the 7 a.m., do you have to sign up for that? Like the parent has to initiate that they need that, or they just drop them off at 7 a.m.?
They just drop them off.
Okay.
All right, I have a question. Do you guys know where the 2 field trips will be to?
Not yet. We like to give teachers and site leads like a chance to offer their input. So we don't necessarily choose for them. Last year, like they chose their enrichment, like if teachers had a hidden talent or something they wanted to try out with the students, they were able to do that. Like one ELA teacher even had students create a book, like a poetry book, because that's something that she does, like write books and things like that, but it was very creative. Same thing with field trips, like we want to give them input as well, not decide everything for them. Yeah.
But last year, they decided to go to Top Golf, Legoland, Sea Life
yeah,
Aquarium, a bowling alley. They had a great time.
Yeah.
I tried to go to Top Golf. They told me I couldn't go.
I've got a question.
Sure, you have the floor.
Going back to the 11th and 12th grade, the web-based credit recovery, is it only available during the school hours, or are they able to work on it at home?
So they are able to do both, but we would like for them to be in school. And the main reason is because some students may get stuck and they have the extra support of a staff member within that class.
Okay. I'm only asking, I was over a credit recovery program, and we ran into the issue where students were coming the first 3 days, then we wouldn't see them, but they were all done with their class. So like one student finished in 3 days with their entire credit recovery class that they had to do. Is that the same kind of scenario here, if they're all done with their lesson? I guess it does like an assessment, and then it would drop off things that they were efficient in or proficient in. So their lesson was very short, so they were done in like 3 days.
Yeah. No, we don't have that here. We have some guardrails to protect us and the student in that way. Through the program, they can do the learning path, but only the teacher can lock and unlock
Right.
the quizzes or the assessments to get them passed out. So they got to come.
Okay, got it.
Amen.
Okay, sure. How many kids is assigned to one classroom?
That depends on enrollment. Last year, our class sizes did not go over, I would say 20, but
15.
really,
most of
really
them.
stuck around 15. Yep. And even, yeah, I'll just start there. Yeah, we had even smaller class sizes, but we tried to like have our class sizes based off of the enrollment, and like for particular grade levels. Yeah.
Any more questions? No? No? All right, thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
We'll move to item number 5, reports. 5A, interim superintendent Shayna Murphy.
First, I want to thank my team, DeShayla Wright, Dr. Omotola Olawole, Mrs. Sheik, and Sherry Buckziger in her absence. I do want to shout out Sherry, Ms. Buckziger. She, again, partnered with the Office of Teaching and Learning, and this grant is worth $1.3 million based on the student enrollment. We had to give them some information about how we were going to roll it out and get the attendance, but we want to shout her out and partnering with us, applying for this grant, making sure we got it so that we can use these monies to offset a lot of the district costs, because we offer summer school anyway, right? We want that opportunity for our students. But through this grant, we're able to offer more experiences for them. So we thank her and we thank our team for stepping up and presenting for us today. I am trying to get to my notes, and please bear with me. I know the hour is late, but I do want to take a moment to celebrate our staff members. So, staff recognition. We continue to celebrate the outstanding contributions of our team members to our Staff of the Month program. Each honoree is recognized with a district hoodie, a reserved parking space at the front of the schoolhouses, and additional tokens of appreciation from their building leadership. This month's recipients for Staff Member of the Month, we have Nada Lazar from Lessinger, Lisa Lazar from Einstein, Rachel Wood from Key, third grade teacher Jennifer Matthews from Pepper, Amber Miller from OPA, paraprofessional Julie Decker from OPHS, and Walter Stevenson, counselor of Nova Academy. So shout out to our staff members of the month. And also, speaking of recognition, on behalf of the leadership of Lessinger Early Childhood Center, we would like to give these certificates of appreciation to Trustee Tiffany Scott and Trustee Rogers in recognition of participating in the Lessinger Reading Month back in March. So I will make sure you get those.
Thank
All
you.
right. Culture and Climate Initiative. So we are excited to reinstate our district-wide Culture and Climate Initiatives under the leadership of Ms. North, our assistant principals, and it is Assistant Principal Recognition Month. So let's shout out the assistant principals of the Oak Park School District. They are working collaboratively to strengthen building level culture through developing shared leadership that amplifies staff voice, fostering a strong sense of belonging for students and staff, and expanding supports through internal systems and community partnerships. So our collective goal is to build a district grounded in real relationships, real support, and real results. And so we remain committed to operating as one school district with 7 schools, not 7 schools in a district, but one school district with 7 schools. And so we highlight our assistant principals for this month, and we extend our sincere appreciation to them for National Assistant Principal Recognition Week. Their leadership and dedication is vital to the success of our schoolhouses. And finally, our second from last, our family and community engagement. We thank our food service team. Shout out to Tiffany and Austin and TJ and the whole crew for producing the What's Cooking in Oak Park newsletter, which highlights the exceptional culinary experiences and educational opportunities available to our students. We also want to highlight Key Elementary. They hosted a special performance. All right, that's my school too. Okay, special performance by the Cass Tech harp program. It is one of the only programs in this area that has that of its kind. And so we celebrate the outstanding music teacher, Miss Fuji, for bringing that experience to our students. They can see those big old harps on the stage and, the ladies up there, lulling them with a sweet lullaby on those harps. So we celebrate them. We want to highlight Lessinger Early Childhood. They hosted a parent workshop on work-life balance. I should have been there.
No, it's Wednesday.
Oh, it's Wednesday. Oh, it is this coming Wednesday. And I'm coming. April 15th at 9 a.m. We are featuring licensed professional counselor Rachel Webster. She is one of the parents of Lessinger. So shout out to Lessinger for engaging with our community. And then kindergarten roundups are taking place this week. Families are encouraged to visit our website and social media platforms for dates and times. Lessinger had our kindergarten roundup today. Tomorrow will be Einstein Elementary, located at 14001 North End Street from 4 to 5. And then Wednesday, Key Elementary on Jerome Street and Pepper Elementary on Church Street will be hosting our kindergarten roundup activities from 4 to 5 p.m. So shout out to our staff members who have agreed to stay to showcase our beautiful facilities and wonderful staff to our future Oak Park scholars, all right? And then lastly, speaking of our future Oak Park scholars, our enrollment and recruitment efforts, our team has conducted a thorough review of enrollment data and is developing a strategic recruitment plan aligned to these insights. So we're committed to making sure that we are increasing enrollment in the Oak Park School District. Data shows that our website is one of the top drivers of new enrollment, accounting for almost 10% of new families, as well as word of mouth. We already know that that's the most powerful way of advertising. But with our website, as a result, we are actively enhancing our website to increase engagement and to provide prospective families with clear, accessible, and meaningful information. So this past weekend, shout out to Miss North and the film crew, we began filming virtual tours of all of our buildings to further support recruitment efforts and to showcase the strengths of Oak Park. And so Miss North and the crew was here on Saturday, going to every single building, filming. Shout out to our principals and teachers who opened their classrooms, that we were able to get beautiful footage so they can roll that beautiful bean footage. That's what they used to say. So they can click on the website and see the wonderful facilities of the Oak Park School District. Those will be ready soon. Parents from the comfort of their home can click a button and see Einstein Elementary, can see Oak Park and the Knights Cafe and all of these beautiful things. And so we are excited for that. And again, we're looking forward to all of the wonderful future Oak Park scholars. And that is the superintendent's report.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
For that. Okay, item number 6, public participation. Ms. Trustee Tyler, can you please read the guidelines?
Yes, because the Oak Park Board of Education values public meetings, not just in public, we welcome the public comments on school issues. Speakers are asked to express themselves in a civil manner with due process. Private or other who may be affected by public comments. Public comments of the meeting cannot be used to make personal attacks against school board members or district employees. The order of the meeting are totally unrelated to the manner in which the member or employee performs his duty. Speakers should be aware that if they violate the rights of others under the law of defaming, such as comments may result in legal liability. Most comments are asked to be precise in 3 minutes. The board asks the comments remain focused on the topics of issues, not directed at any specific personnel or board member. We have Ms. Candace Calloway.
Hello.
Hello.
How you
Good
doing?
evening.
Hi.
I'll be
Good
brief.
evening.
I just wanted to come and introduce myself. My name is Candace Calloway, and I appreciate the opportunity to share some brief comments with you all. I just want to start by recognizing the students that were honored tonight. That was so wonderful to watch and to see so many family members come out. We know that our schools are not just providing curriculum to our students, so it's always good to celebrate our students and to allow their families and friends to come in and celebrate them as well. So I'm a City Year alumni, and I'm a former academic interventionist, and I know firsthand that schools are about much more than academics. They're places where students build character, build skills, get a chance to make up credits and go to summer school and do field trips. And so it's really important to uplift our students. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you to our educators, to our staff, to the Oak Park residents who stayed until 8 o'clock to hear all this wonderful information. And to thank you to our students and families who are continuing to invest to make Oak Park residents great.
Thank
you.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Any other public comments? Trustee Tyler? Okay. So this is where we switched it. So item number 7, call for closed session pursuant to Section 8C of the Open Meetings Act for the purpose of discussing the letter of agreement with bargaining teams OPEA, OPESPA, AOPSA.
That's last.
We switched it up because it requires an action. It needs all your action items.
Okay, Ms. Greer, can you please call the roll?
Corcoran.
Yes.
Madison.
Yes.
Harriman Tanks.
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
And Tyler.
Yes.
Okay, we are now going to closed session. We will open the doors once we come out of closed session. All right, we will amend the action items to add the approval of the letter of agreement with the bargaining teams, OPEA, OPESPA, and AOPSA.
Probably item 8G.
Yep, item 8G. Well, I was about to do it right then, but it's fine.
Oh, sorry.
It's fine. We'll move that to item 8G. Action item number 8A, Pepper and Einstein Elementary Interior Renovations Project. Would anyone like to read that?
I can read it.
Okay.
Resolved that the Board of Education approves the award of the construction contract to Baron, is that Baron? Baron Construction Group for the Pepper and Einstein Elementary Interior Renovation Project, including the base bid and alternates number 1 through 8 in E1 for a total amount of $856,301. Be it further resolved that the board approves a construction contingency in the amount of $128,045, approximately 15% to be used as needed with proper authorization. Be it further resolved that the superintendent or designee is authorized to execute all necessary documents to proceed with the project.
Is there a second?
Second.
I heard Perryman Tanks first, so motion made by trustee Scott and seconded by trustee Perryman Tanks. Any discussion on that motion? Ms. Greer, please call the roll.
Corcoran,
Yes.
Madison.
Yes.
Perriman Tanks.
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Scott
Yes.
and Tyler.
Okay, so with this one, do we just name each one and vote that way? Or, because we still never had a chance to discuss each
And call it
individual?
separately.
Okay, great. Thank you. You say you'll do it, Ms. Greer?
I'm sorry.
You said you'll do it, you'll call them separately?
Yes.
Okay.
Michigan Association of School Board, Dr. Ron Green, consultant, MASB.
Okay.
Tyler.
Yes.
Scott.
No. Wait, are we choosing which one we want, or are we choosing?
We choosing which one we want. She said MASB, but do we get to discuss it?
It's a motion.
I thought you discussed it before.
We never got a chance to discuss it.
Then it's open on the floor for discussion.
Okay, it's open for discussion. Anybody have anything to say about it?
I just never,
The-
how much was MSAB charging us? Because I remember the other guys.
It's right.
said that.
It's in your board book.
I have a question.
Sure. You have the floor.
Ms. Peck, or someone else may know, who did our last search for superintendent?
Michigan Leader Institute. Michigan
MLI.
Leader Institute.
Michigan Leadership.
I was about to say.
How they did the last couple?
Yes.
I do
I
have
have-
a observation that I wanted to say to the board before we make this decision. I had some thought on this, and whether you guys would agree or not is up to us. But I was thinking, would you guys agree with holding off until this school year is over?
Absolutely not. We have to have a superintendent by a certain time for the school year.
Right, we have an interim superintendent though.
Okay, but we have to do a superintendent search.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that. I'm saying, well,
So
since-
there's like I don't know to say it's a rule, but entities such as MASB, when you take these classes for superintendent search, they show you the guidelines of the importance of when a superintendent should come in. So I think what you're saying is to make sure that you're saying we have an interim superintendent to stay here until when?
The end of the school year. It was just an observation I noticed. I know that it's probably a groove that you know has been established already, and I just was literally worried about everybody having to switch up, you know, the teachers and the staff and students, and to just carry out the last bit of the school year, and then.
So even if that does happen, a superintendent still has to be, they have to come in before the end of the school year. So that's why it would be best to, based on, you know, the classes that I took, you know, there's just a certain time that the superintendent search, you know, is acclimated.
Okay, fair enough. Hello. Yes, you have the floor.
Talking about how long does the superintendent serve? They said, several of them said different time frame.
3 to 4 months.
3 to 4 months? When are we in now?
They said 6.
So that would be the end of the school year
It'll be the end of the.
It'll be the end of the school year.
Yeah, so it'll be the end of the school year. So if we start it now, so it'll take us until the end of the school year, that's what you're saying? So I mean, you're saying not to do it until the end of the school year? Or
Yeah.
we start it now, but the person don't be entered until the end of the school year? So I need more clarity from you.
Probably. I mean, you're right. It wouldn't start till next school year anyway. So, you know,
Okay, so, right, so you said.
I just didn't want to mess up anybody's groove. You know,
Right,
as
I
far as the
understand. Okay.
the staff.
Right, understood. I'm just trying to be very clear on what you're saying. You're saying if we start it now, it still would be until the end of the school, which is June 30th.
Right, correct.
Right now, we still, technically, we have an interim, and then we still have the other person on the other side. And so then if we add, and this is, hear me out, so then if we add a person before the school year, that means that's in that budget? Now, I'm just wanna, okay, hold on, is that in that budget of this year, or it goes into the next year? Because actuality, what I'm seeing is that we'll be paying 3 people.
Not just 3. We still have a.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead, Ms.
But you
Pat.
have to sign a contract.
Right, okay, so we have to sign a contract, right, okay. So, in other words, we have an interim. If we start it now, it will still take us until the June 30th, that's what you're saying. But if we decide, if we start this process, just say hypothetically, next week, and by June 10th, we got a superintendent, they still do not start until June 30th or August 1st, am I correct?
I'm unsure about when they would. It would.
Am I correct?
Ms. Murphy, do you know when they would
Yes.
start?
Whenever the
Contract.
The search.
board agrees to start their contract.
Right.
Okay, so we'll do whenever the board sees. So if we start it now, it'll still take us to the end of the year. That's my only concern. I don't wanna be paying 3 people. That's my only concern. And I hear what you're saying, President. You know, if we start it now, it'll still take us until that June 30th, which we definitely would need a superintendent. So I hear what you're saying, and I hear what Trustee Corcoran is saying. I think where I'm at now, that you all have made clarity on it, that if we start it now, it's still gonna take us to August 1st. But the other person is still here until August 31st, right?
That's correct.
Mr.
That's correct.
Abdullah, he's still here till August 31st, am I correct?
Everybody.
Am I correct? And I'm asking, I think he's still here till August. I just wanna make sure I'm correct. I want everybody looking like, am I talking some gibberish?
August 31st.
You have to sign a contract.
Right, I have to sign I got that, I have to sign a contract, got it. But I wanna make sure this new person come in July 30th, and we still have Mr. Abdullah there until August 30th. I just don't want no crossing over.
But we only paying Shayna to June, right? Are we
Right.
on it to June?
We definitely have you, Drew, I'm not,
So I'm
right.
saying we paying her to June. Right,
Her and now, yeah, okay.
right, we're definitely paying her to June, right?
August
And so we
31st.
start-
August 31st.
We paying her to August 31st?
No.
To June. We
Oh,
paying her
June. Okay.
Right? Okay.
June.
Yeah,
To
you're
June.
right, you're right.
To June, right,
Trustee
okay.
Tyler.
Right, and so when whoever we choose, they come in July 31st or August 1st. But the-
If it's
And,
done
and it's
by
good
the
that she would
Right,
be
most
here, so
likely.
then if at need be,
She can still, okay, that's my next question. If it need be that we don't find anyone, then we would still have, keep Ms. Murphy as our interim superintendent until we find somebody. Is that fair to say?
But we will have to, do a new contract,
Go do a
correct?
new contract, right,
Right, because,
understood.
because
Okay.
ours is June.
To June 30th, okay. Okay, thank you so much.
All righty, thank you.
Thank you.
Any more discussion on the motion?
yes, you're talking about MASB and Michigan Institute.
Yes, yes.
Nope. I have no questions.
All right,
I mean, no discussion.
so, Ms. Greer, you want to call the roll again for MASB, or whichever one you want to do first?
Michigan Associate of School Boards, that's listed for Dr. Ron Green, consultant, MASB.
Ms. Greer, can you talk into your mic? Can't hear you.
Michigan Association of School Boards, Dr. Ron Green, consultant, MASB. Tyler,
Can you come back to me, because I'm trying to remember which one was which in my head. I'm looking for a picture.
Scott,
No.
Rogers,
No.
Perryman Tanks.
This for MASB, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Perryman Tanks.
I say yes.
She said
She said yes. She said yes.
Madison,
Yes.
Corcoran,
Yes.
and Tyler.
Yes.
So we don't have to go to the other one because you had a majority.
Okay, so, superintendent search, item number 8B, resolved that the Oak Park Board of Education select MASB executive search firm to conduct the superintendent search for the district.
Second.
Motion made by myself, seconded by trustee Corcoran. Ms. Greer, please. We just did.
You called them.
It passed. Thank you. Item number 8A, Michigan Association of School Boards. Ooh, sorry.
Michigan.
8C, approval of Oak Park High School marching band out-of-state field trip in Maywood, Illinois.
Hey, Mr. Akins. He did.
Yeah, this is
That's Mr. Akins. Go ahead.
Hey, how y'all doing? Y'all good? Yeah, I apologize for my attire. You know, we was outside and we was cleaning up from my past events today, so. Yes, ma'am.
So we got this information item at the last meeting, right?
No, I don't think so.
Right?
No, not the field trip.
No,
Yes.
but it's in your board book.
Yeah, it's right here.
I know it's in here, but I thought we were just.
Yeah, it says, the marching
May
band, there's
16.
like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20.
Okay, go
It's
ahead,
only
Ms.
3.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can read it.
Resolve, the Board of Education approves the Oak Park High School marching band out-of-state field trip to Proviso.
Yep. Proviso. Yep.
Proviso East High School in Maywood, Illinois, on May 16, 2026, under the supervision of district staff and in accordance with district policies, with costs covered through approved funding sources.
Second. Motion made by trustee Perryman Tank, seconded by myself. Ms. Greer, please call the roll.
Rogers,
Yes.
Madison.
Yes.
Corcoran,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Perryman Tanks.
Yes.
Okay, that motion passes. Congratulations on your field
Thank
trip.
you.
You got one more.
Did you want to say something?
Oh, yeah, I know I got 2 more. That's why I'm like, I might as well just get on.
Right, I
Oh,
was
you
gonna say
staying
you
up
got
here?
2 more.
Okay, all right. Item 8D, approval of out-of-state field trip for Oak Park Preparatory Academy for Toledo, Ohio. I'll read it. The Office of Teaching and Learning requests approval for 7th and 8th grade students from Oak Park Preparatory Academy to attend an out-of-state field trip to the University of Toledo, located at 2801 West Bancroft Street, Toledo, Ohio. This educational trip will provide students with exposure to a college campus experience and support academic and college readiness goals. The trip will be supervised by Oak Park Preparatory Academy staff and conducted in accordance with the district policies and safety procedures. Be it resolved that the Board of Education approves this field trip as presented. Any second? Second, that was you. Second by Trustee Tyler and made by myself. Ms. Greer, can you please call the roll?
Perryman Tanks.
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Corcoran.
Shona, yes.
And Madison.
Yes. All right, item number 8, that motion is approved. Congratulations. Item number 8E, approval of out-of-state field trip, Oak Park High School Marching Band, Calumet City, Illinois. Would anyone like to read that motion? I will. The Office of Teaching and Learning, on behalf of Mr. John Akins, Band Director at Oak Park High School, requests approval of the Oak Park High School Marching Band to attend an out-of-state band jamboree at Thornton Fractional North High School, located at 755 Pulaski Road, Calumet City, Illinois. Hold on, wait. Hold on. 1 second. The trip will take place on Saturday, May 9th, 2026. Students will depart Oak Park High School at 8 o'clock a.m. via First Student Transportation and return at approximately 9 p.m. Students will be supervised by Mr. Akins, Mr. Williams, and approved chaperones. This experience will allow students to apply their musical and performance skills in a live setting. Be it resolved that the Board of Education approves this field trip as presented. Any second? Motion made by myself and seconded by Trustee Tyler. Ms. Greer, can you please call the roll?
Madison.
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
Tyler. Yes. Corcoran.
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Perryman Tanks.
Yes.
All right, and then we will move. Huh?
Last but not least.
Oh, for him. All right, item number 8E.
I can read that.
Sorry? You can read it? Okay. Approval of Oak Park Marching Band out-of-state field trip to Trotwood, Ohio. Ms. Trustee Scott, can you please?
The Office of Teaching and Learning, on behalf of Mr. John Akins, Band Director at Oak Park High School, requests approval for the Oak Park High School Marching Band to attend an out-of-state band jamboree at Trotwood High School, located at 4440 North Union Road, Trotwood, Ohio. The trip will take place on Saturday, May 2nd, 2026. Students will depart Oak Park High School at 8 a.m. via First Student Transportation and return at approximately 9 p.m. Students will be supervised by Mr. Akins, Mr. Williams, and approved chaperones. Be it resolved that the Board of Education approves the field trip as presented.
Seconded. Motion made by Trustee Scott and seconded by Trustee Rogers. Ms. Greer, can you please call the roll?
Corcoran.
Yes.
Madison.
Yes.
Perryman Tanks.
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
And Tyler.
All right, that motion passes. Congratulations on all of your field trips.
Appreciate it.
No problem.
Just want to say hey to y'all, because I don't get to see y'all every day. I see y'all on y'all, when I can, and I appreciate this opportunity because one of them schools is my personal high school that's in Illinois. So get to go back and show the people, where I'm from, what they can do. So I appreciate y'all giving me this opportunity.
No problem. No problem.
Okay.
Go have fun. Be safe. All right. And then we have item number 8G.
Is he getting funded?
Be it resolved that we approve the letter of agreement. Hold on, let me find it. Let me find it real quick. I'm sorry. The letter of agreement, with the bargaining teams, OPEA, OPE, SPA, NAOPSA. Anybody second?
Second.
I heard Tyler first. Motion made by myself, seconded by trustee Tyler. Ms. Greer, please call the roll.
Tyler?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Perryman Tanks?
Yes.
Madison?
Yes,
and
yes, yes.
Copeland.
Yes.
All right, that motion passes. Congratulations. Item number 9 now. Oh, yeah, 9, 10. It was 9. We switched, right? Then we switched 7 and 8. Now we at 9, right?
10.
9. Call for open session. We did that already.
Yeah.
Y'all looking? All right. Right. So communications. Item number 9, communications from the administration.
Again, thank you to the board for approving all of those wonderful opportunities for our students. I do wish the board good luck with the superintendent search. I would like to highlight that Lansing Public Schools appointed. They didn't have to. Amen. But good luck with that search as well. The only community announcement will be, we do have early release this coming Wednesday. All of our children get out 2 hours early. For early release day, the intention is for teacher planning and preparation. So early release, our elementaries get out at 1:25, our secondary schools get out at 1:35. And happy spring, everybody.
Happy spring to you. Thank you. Any communications from the Board of Education?
I do just want to give a shout out to Lessinger for my award. I really do appreciate that. I had a great time reading to the children. And that's about it. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Yeah, I
Trustee
do.
Pyramid
I'll
Tanks.
piggyback on that.
Trustee Pyramid Tanks. You have the floor.
I enjoy, it's so cute how the elementary schools play each other in basketball. I went to Oprah the other day, Thursday, and Paige, and Tiffany's daughter is a cheerleader at Einstein, and she did so well. We watched 2 good games. Enjoy, I think that's so cute.
Thank you. Trustee Rogers.
Just piggybacking off of Trustee Scott, I want to thank Lessinger Elementary for the reading of the monthly Reading Month Award. I had a good time with the kids. We read one funny book and another serious book, but they were fun. They were a lot of fun.
Oh, thank you. Anybody else?
Yeah, I had one.
All right, Trustee Corcoran, you have the floor.
Actually, 2. Just recently, there was an incident in another city with a student that was held at gunpoint at a bus stop. And that student was abducted. But because of her quick thinking, peers, they were able to apprehend the person. So with that being said, I was just wondering, what type of security do we have at our bus stops? And are we given, because I know we do a lot of training with the actual staff, but are we having any type of intervention with our students in regards to safety? And if so, we can get, just bring awareness, because we're living in that type of era where it's a lot of, human trafficking going on, especially here in Michigan. So, and the other thing was the presentation for the summer school. Thank you very much. I actually was very pleased with the presentation. It was a lot to look at when you're looking at the computer, at your phone, so, but next time maybe I'll get some printouts early. But I just want to say that it was very detailed. It didn't lose me, and thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Corcoran. I just wanted to, like I always do, say the events that I went to. I went to a reading month at Key. Shout out to Ms. Ford. I read to her class. The basketball games, they just started for third, fourth, fifth, and sixth graders. So be on the lookout for their schedules, guys. Go cheer them on or whatever. Track, did track just start? No. Is it just starting?
No.
Yep, so track.
These are the finals.
Track, I went to some track event that Brandon Giles had. It was awesome. And then again, shout out to all of the students of the month. I love to see that. Shout out to them for their hard work, and as always, their staff for continuing to do the good work in the classrooms. That is it.
Those track girls won.
Sorry.
Those track girls won.
Period. Track
Just
girls
saying.
won. Okay, and then now we're on item number 11, adjournment. The next, can you tell us when the next board meeting is, Ms. Tyler?
The next meeting of Board of Education will be held Monday, April 27, 2026 at 6 p.m. in the boardroom at the Administration Building.
All right, the time is now 8:48, and this meeting is adjourned.
Good night.